Where do you sit? Hey, Adam and T Board Games again, and just a topic I feel like people haven't really touched on, and that is sitting arrangements. Uh, it matters where you sit. I mean, if you're just having fun, that's fine. But like, who you're sitting next, who you're gonna play after and play before, really makes a big deal. But if you're just playing one-off games, that's fine. The main topic of this is, what do people do about legacy and campaign games? Do you sit in the same spot every turn because then it's like the same instance, or do you vary it up and then there's a little asterisk? But I'm just curious, like, what do people actually do about that? I know with my group, since I'm playing like 2 legacy games right now, or campaign. I guess one's legacy and one's campaign. But we always sit in the same spot. Charterstone, that's one, but they kind of have that already made into the rules where you sit by your charter, so therefore you have assigned seats, and you go in that order. But the other game, Near and Far, which we're doing a campaign of just like going through the stories, that one has no rules about it. At least I might have missed it in the rules. So I know the people I play with, we make sure that we sit in the same seats, or at least some of them are picky about that, and that's fine by me. But do other people just sit down wherever? Or do you like try to recreate the first time you played so it's a even playing field? But like, in one sense, I can see how it maintains the same potential formula for how the game is played. But on the other hand, is it an even playing field? Because I'm not that so great. I'm horrible at Near and Far. But anyways, me sitting next to the person or going after the person who always wins, if they're always winning, isn't that like an uneven playing field if I'm sitting always after the person who always wins? Not saying that's the case, but if you're constantly always losing and the person next to your right, because it usually goes clockwise, is always winning, shouldn't you change up the seating arrangement to make it feel a little bit more balanced? And whether you switch 2 people or 3 people, but isn't that more balanced by switching the seats? Or is keeping everything status quo and just hope that they get a bad deck of cards or hand of cards when you're picking? But like for any game, I mean, would you only play 7 wonders in the same seat? I know games are not connected, but that is a type of game, that and Blood Rage, where the drafting of cards is super important, and it really depends on who's next to you, left or right, and what cards you give and take. Now, sure, it's that person's not going to affect your card that you're going to choose, but what you're getting, what's available to you, that's what's going to be affected. But I don't see how the best way to do it outside of just keeping status quo. Since I'm just bad at it, I'm not really like, oh my gosh, how do I improve my game? No. I'm more so just wondering in general, because if one score was a lot higher than mine, and it was every game consistently for a number of games, I might be like, let's change this up. Because obviously something here is not working. But it's not working for me. Working for that person. They cheat. How do you deal with seating arrangement? Especially when it comes to legacy games. I feel like this conversation, it matters, but it doesn't matter that much in terms of regular games, because you're not consistently doing this one time, and the next time you play the game, you could just kind of work it and make sure you're sitting next to somebody else. Legacy games, how do you do it? Tell me, let me know. Put it in the comments, here or a YouTube video. But yes, I'm Adam. This has been NT Board Games, just like a little chat. We're gonna follow us on the social medias, and if you like this video, want more, want to see live stuff, live play, live stuff. I said live stuff already again, but I'm sorry. Follow our Patreon, and yeah, let's play some games.